All right, what's going on, everybody? Josh Throne here with Matt Harris, back by popular demand for his Getting Defensive episode. Guys, we're brought to you by Ortho Arkansas, as always, presented by Ortho, one of the best orthopedic hospitals in Arkansas, down there in Little Rock. And this segment is brought to you by Commercial Air. When it comes to reliable HVAC services in Northwest Arkansas, look no further than Commercial Air. This third generation family owned business has been serving the state since 1971. They're the experts in keeping critical environments like data centers, hospitals, manufacturing plants running smoothly with industrial grade cooling system repair, maintenance, and replacement services. They're available 24/7. And with a commitment to top tier service, Commercial Air is the trusted name in HVAC solutions. And Matt, let's be honest, man, we might need Commercial Air to come cool this team down just a little bit going into Missouri. You got to keep a cool mind. That's what you said. You got to keep a cool mind going into Missouri. But we're talking about the Latt Tech game. Man, what'd you think this weekend?
Hey, caps off to our defense, right? Everyone's sitting there saying, oh, we should have beat Latt Tech more and this, and that, and the other. I mean, those guys get recruited. They're on scholarship too. But our defense has played well the past 2 weeks. Our defense has played well, frankly, all season. There's been a couple bad games. But I was really impressed. We pitched a first half shutout. Our offense, again, just sluggish. I'm telling you, Josh, that matters so much. When you get first half turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, and for you to keep those guys out of the end zone on their first drive and they go for it and they fake a field goal, they fake the field goal and miss one. I mean, huge momentum. Our defense really kept us in the game and gave us a chance to even beat Latt Tech. So
Right,
go Hogs.
right, right.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
what does Houston not always say? Hey, special teams, be
yeah,
special. DJ and I was
yeah,
talking about that after the game. Is that
yeah,
it seems to be special teams struggling all year. Our defense,
mhm,
what's keeping us into the game. The
yeah,
offense, it's been hit or miss lately at least. But
yeah,
when you look at somebody made an interesting point to me in the comment section after our post game recap. They said our offense is one of the top in the SEC. Our defense is ranked like 11.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It is interesting.
I looked at that, and I have to say that when it comes to analytics and data like that, sometimes it's like it doesn't
Mhm,
really tell the whole story because our defense, like you always say, it's complementary football. Our defense
yeah,
has to be helped out by the offense being on the field and scoring. Otherwise, you're just
right,
putting them into a situation to give up a lot of yards if they're out there for the entire game.
right,
So I want to
right.
push back on that comment. I can't remember his name, but to me, when I look at it, for our defense to go in there down after down after down, series after series, for our offense to just go three and out and punt, three and out and punt, it really puts a
Yeah,
lot of stress on them. And their stats are never going to be as good as they could be if Bobby Petrino could get the offense running right.
yeah, yeah. Hey, real quick, stats lie. All right, people, stats lie. Tony
Mm-hmm.
Romo is the best statistic quarterback in Cowboy history. All right, and hey, Katie, can you get that dog? I'm sorry, Josh. Uh,
This is real, guys.
this is
This
real.
is real
Yeah,
life.
I am defensive in real life. Shut up, dog. Uh, I will whoop a dachshund. Uh, but stats lie, Josh. Tony Romo's the
Uh-huh.
best quarterback in Cowboy history. Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach. I mean, give me a break, right? You can get fourth quarter, second half trash stats. Same thing. You get a bad Ole Miss game. Good gosh, you get a terrible Ole Miss game and excuse your stats. The fact of the matter is, they hold Texas to 20 points. They go and upset Tennessee. They hold them to less than 300 yards. I mean, in the games they needed to show up, they did. And La Tech, they did the same thing. So, players, they don't think about that stuff. They don't look
All
at
right.
stats. I was on a statistically bad defense with Bobby Petrino, because we would go three and out a lot, and they'd pass, 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 and there would be 20 seconds go off the clock, and then you're back on the field, and everyone who's on your special teams, they're all defensive players, so you're exhausted. So complimentary football, that's what the good teams do great. The Alabamas of the world, I know they just got taken down, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, their offense, even if they don't score, they extend drives. And so that's what I want to see with Arkansas. I mean, you're sitting here playing Law Tech, and your defense is statistically one of the lower in the conference. And how about this? Would you rather be 8-2, or would you rather be 6-5 with the number one ranked offense? Or would you
Right.
rather be like mid tier? Like, stats lie. Your record's the most important thing. So, not to go off on a tangent, but I do agree with that guy. It is weird that, you're statistically can fall, but within the conference, it's probably a matter of 10, 15, 20 yards, right? Like we're
Right.
the 11th worst defense. It's like, yeah, but the top five defenses, you're 50 yards per game. So you got to take that into account too. I don't know the actual yardage, but I bet you it's within 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
If we let up 350 yards a game or 400 yards a game, I bet you the top defense lets up 300 yards a game.
Right.
Offenses score. They score points. They move the ball. So our defense isn't worried about that. They've been playing lights out. T. Will's got them rolling, and I was really impressed with them.
Well, I know that we were going to take a look at some plays this week. I started off with that
Yeah,
special teams play when I sent it over to you because I thought that, this
yeah,
defense obviously played really well this week. I wanted to highlight a lot of the stuff that they did good,
mhm,
really close to keeping them in a shutout. But special teams, you want them to be special.
yeah,
And they, when you're playing a Latt Tech team, they're going to pull out all
yeah,
the stops. So why are you not prepared for a fake field goal? And I want you to take me into the mind
uh,
of being in a scenario where maybe you're
yeah.
coming off the edge on a field goal. What are you looking for in these scenarios?
Yeah, great question, Josh. First thing you're doing out there is everyone's talking. Watch the fake, watch the fake, watch the fake. It's first quarter, 4th and 3. If they don't get it, you get a long field. This is a great opportunity for a team to fake the ball, right? They're in the middle of the field. It's like, hey, they're probably going to punt it. They're probably going to kick it. But watch the fake, watch the fake is the first thing you're doing. It's all communication based. Second off, number 30, our guy Worth there that's sitting on the hash, he's there for the fake. He
Mm-hmm.
has no man-to-man responsibility. Number 13, Robinson on the end there, you'll see once the play gets going. This is where I want everyone to give some grace to the edge guy, right? So we have a middle block on. You'll see all of our big boys in the middle. We've got a middle block. Uh, our edge guys, and specifically on that side, Hudson Clark, he has no responsibility outside of just plugging a gap. But number 13, Robinson, uh, he's got man to man on that tight end because if that guy releases and he catches a touchdown, guess
Mm-hmm.
whose ass is going to be? It's going to
Right.
hit. So he is locked on to that tight end, Josh. You can see his head. You can see the Razorback on his head, and it's a fake. You can like, oh, why didn't he see it? Because he's doing his job. Why 3-0 is backpedaling a yard? I don't know. That's his play to make. Robinson's out there on the edge. They caught us sleeping. That's what it is. But good communication pre-snap. Watch the fake. Watch the fake. That gives you an opportunity to at least be on your heels, right? I say it time and time again, right? This is something my dad drilled in my head. Anticipation beats reaction all day long. That comes from Coach Tom Landry. Coaches are out there telling these guys, hey, watch the fake. The fact that they get 4th and 3, it wasn't a backbreaker, but if this was the fourth quarter SEC game, like that means a lot. So
Well, it comes down to this. I mean, in situations like this, had they pulled this off and then that turned into a touchdown, you're
mm,
giving Latt Tech a lot of life. And
yeah,
I think that everybody's happy with the fact that we won this game. And to be picking on, I don't even think we're going to pick on the defense. We're going to highlight a lot of the great things that the defense did because they obviously were the reason why we stayed in the game. But it's
yeah,
moments like this, I think, that get a lot of the fans confused as
yeah,
who you're playing. They're going to pull out all the stops in these fourth and short scenarios where
mm,
they're that close to the end zone. It makes
mm,
a lot bigger impact for them to come out of this with a touchdown than it does a field goal.
yeah,
And so you got to expect this. Are the coaches not on the sideline yelling this? Is everybody out there
yeah,
in the field not yelling, "Hey, watch the fake, watch the fake"?
yeah,
Is it just as simple as they did not yell it this time? And if so,
yeah.
how are we forgetting that?
Yeah, Josh, we've talked about this a lot too. Everyone's like, oh, fire Pittman, new coaching staff, let Bobby P be head coach. It's like, hey, tap the brakes, guys. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen the difference between a bad play call and bad execution, right? There's a huge difference between the coaches preparing these guys and the guys just not making the damn play. A head
Mm-hmm.
coach is not going to fix that play. Now, if the coaches aren't reminding them, hey, watch the fake, they're going to pull out the stops. It's 4th and 3. Watch the fake, watch the fake. I've just been on the field. I would be shocked if these guys weren't yelling already. Watch the fake. I know it was happening. I mean, it's like second and long. Hey, watch the draw, watch the screen. Even if your
Mm-hmm.
coaches aren't telling you, good defenses are saying, hey, watch the fake, right?
Right.
4th and 3. If they come up there, blue eight, put, they're going to go hard count. Hey, watch the ball, watch the
Right.
fake. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
watch the draw, watch the screen. Good defensive teams have good communication. They don't need their coaches to hold their hands. So, um, I would just be hesitant when all those people calling for everybody's heads and the coaching staff. Sometimes your players just aren't executing. It doesn't matter if Nick Saban's out there. telling them, hey, watch the fake, watch the fake. It's like, what happens if your players just don't listen to your coaches? So,
Right.
um, when they faked the field goal, Worth should have made that play. Could Robinson have been a little quicker to respond? Sure, but that wasn't his responsibility. When you come from the edge, Josh, a lot of times they caught us in a bad blitz. We were middle rushing. I promise you, Latt Tech scouted us and they said,
Hmm.
hey, when they middle rush, we're going to fake it on the edge.
Hmm.
When they middle rush, because what happens when you rush from the edges, one guy rushes to go block the field goal and the other guy bounces out, anticipating that it's going to get blocked. So when you come from this side and you block it, the ball's going to shoot out that way. So you get edge pressure. So those teams will never fake it when you do edge pressures. When you
Hmm.
go middle rush, now they've got the edge on you because they know that he's got man to man on the tight end. And as long as you can get that edge, it's 4th and 3. It's a completely doable play. It was tip of the cap for Latt Tech. They caught us in a middle rush and um, a Worth, and Worth, that's 4-3, man. That's a far distance to travel on an option play. You
Hmm.
got to think about it. If we're running zone read or the option play, and you've got defensive ends and linebackers and safeties and pitch responsibilities, this is a hard play for Worth to make. It's his play to make, but uh, all in all, they caught us in the middle rush and they missed the field goal. So, haha, go
Right.
Hogs.
I was about to say special teams wasn't so special that time, and
Yeah, right. Sucker.
defense got back on the field.
Yeah, right.
That leads me to that next play. Is that uh,
I love
third
it.
down and 10, defense
I
steps up
love it.
again, and there's a lot going on the defensive front here. I couldn't really
Mhm.
make it out. What were you looking at when you see this play?
So, Josh, here we go. It's 3rd and 10, right? You got to get your personnel here. You got 11 personnel, one back, one tight end. They're wide splits. Look how wide those receivers are to the field. They're outside the hash. So it looks
Hmm.
like they're going to be going to that side. But we have a 3 down lineman. I love it. This is our let's just call this the Tennessee defense. This is how
Hmm.
we operated versus Tennessee. You're going to see that um, Spence, number 22, he's a heck of a linebacker, man. I really enjoy watching this kid. He gets up in there. Um, the field side linebacker, it doesn't worry me too much. But when you get out flanked like that, when there's a lot of space, you just got to be aware of where you are in the field. But really good job by Spence. It was a called blitz. We had the offensive line confused. We had great defensive end. So again, it's all complementary. Football is the ultimate team game. If your defensive end doesn't get that tackle high and wide, then your linebacker can't come in. He doesn't create that gap. If your defensive tackle doesn't occupy the guards in the center, then your linebacker just gets caught up in the mix. You can see it kind of happening, but
Hmm.
because that defensive end climbed high, Spence had the opportunity to be athletic. That's what I love about blitzing linebackers. Our best defensive ends are not as athletic as our linebackers. And so I love blitzing out of a 3-2-6 look. This is awesome. 3rd and 10, great play call. T. Will had him dialed up. I really enjoyed this play.
Matt, there's another 3rd and 10 that comes up after this, and I feel like Coach T. Will was getting creative with the defensive line because I see the
Mm-hmm.
two inside tackles take off the defensive end. Our guy Landon, number 40, he's outside rushing, but that boundary defensive end looks like he twists all the way across the field. Haven't seen anything like that personally, or at least noticed it. What do you see here on this play?
Man, I love this. I mean, again, you said it great, Josh. T. Will is out there getting really creative. When your defensive coordinator is in the zone, you as a player can feel it. And it's beginning of the third quarter. They're 0 for 8 on third downs. And look
Right.
at us. We're 1 for 8 on third
Hmm.
downs.
Right.
So let's be real. Spade's a
Hmm.
spade, right? That's what I love about the
Hmm.
locker room. They ain't enough fluff. So this is what we call a Texas stunt. So you got your tackle and your defensive end. They're switching. So it's a line twist, Josh. And this is what our offensive line, ironically enough, really struggles with. And you, it's a simple twist, but it confuses them. It's just like motion for a defense. It gets people out of position. So you got, Gregory, number 50, and Rhodes, 97, there into the boundary. They're doing a boundary Texas stunt, is what that's called. And you can see right out of the gate, the defensive tackle shoots up field. So that guard and their tackle, they get width, and he's late. And now all of a sudden your defensive end is coming around and it just causes chaos. There's nothing more special than chaos on the defensive side of the ball, baby. You want that quarterback to be thinking, what the heck is, I mean, look at pre-snap. Look at Metcalf right here. He's the deep safety, and he's 6, 7 yards from the ball on the snap. I would have been cussed out up and down. We were not allowed to do that. I love the freedom that T. Will gives these guys. And then look at our opposite safety. I think that's Worth up there. He's
Hmm.
15 yards deep, but um, he's coming down into the hole, is what we call that. I mean, there's different terminologies. And so it plays into the defensive line. Like, Matt, why are you talking about the defensive backs when the defensive line made the sack? This is a coverage sack
Hmm.
that confuses the quarterback. When you see the deep safety 8 yards pre-snap, and then all of a sudden they rotate like that, and then your linebackers are shooting out, and your defensive end is twisting. I mean, Josh, this is a pro level defense right here. This was a really well play call and execution. Again, on 3rd and 10, they're 0 for 9 on 3rd down, right? Everyone's accusing Arkansas of not having this or that and the other. What more can you want? Third
Right.
down's money down, baby. They're 0 for 9 on 3rd down. That is great. It doesn't matter. You're playing Latt Tech. What if they were 5 for 10? We'd be
Right.
having a different conversation. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
they stopped these guys. Um, and then this next play.
Well, that's what I was about to say. That Latt Tech beat us in third down conversions. If you look at the stats at the end of the game,
Yeah.
our offense was outperformed by Latt Tech, even though our defense was the shining point. That's why I put this next play in here
Yeah.
because it's a 3rd and 11, and our defense kept us in this game. I want to give all kudos and appreciation to the Arkansas defense. But
Yeah.
we can't have a defensive breakdown without looking at a play and trying to
No
get
question.
better. So I wanted to put this in there and get your take on this game because when I was there at the
Yep.
stadium, the crowd was still involved in this game. It's 14-0. We
Yeah.
just came out. We just came
Yeah.
out of halftime. This play mattered, and it got a
Big
little
time.
quiet after this.
Yeah, big time. 3rd down's a money down. You get from a defensive player's perspective, when it's 3rd down, 3rd and long, and they get that ball and they get that 1st down, you don't quit, but you're like, damn, we got to go again. We got,
All right.
they got a new set of downs. And so this stuff drives me mad, Josh. I used to tell people there's probably bigger, faster, stronger guys at Washita Baptist than there was me at the University of Arkansas, but I knew what the hell I was doing and where I was supposed to be and what my discipline was. And if I have force, then by God, that guy is not getting outside of me.
Hmm.
And Slaughter, I've called him out multiple times this year for getting out leveraged, for letting these guys get outside. And it just drives me crazy. Even if you don't make the tackle, one of my favorite things to do, Josh, right? Football is a not so nice game. If that was me, I can tell you what I did and what I would have done. I would have been outside shoulder of this guy versus inside shoulder. You can see that Slaughter gets flanked. Look at the receiver's release. Look where he's trying to get. He is
Hmm.
trying to get outside of Slaughter. He is fighting for the outside. So you as a defensive player, if you see that, if you feel that, you got to think instantly, hey, I have force, one. Why is this guy trying to flank me? Because they're trying to get outside of you. If
Right.
someone can get outside of you, ever heard the term pick your knees up? That's what
Hmm.
they try to do. You get outside of the edge and you pick your knees up and you're 88 at the gate, baby.
Hmm.
And that's what this guy did. I mean, La Tech has, I bet you that guy runs a 4.4. You just never heard of him because he's probably 5'8" and he's not 6'3" playing for Alabama. But that guy's
Right.
probably a good football player. So Slaughter starts this deal. Something that really bothered me as well here too. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this is going to be short pass to the running back. They're just trying to get some yards and see what happens. Um, Metcalf is really slow to go. He's got deep responsibility, so I understand that he's got to backpedal and give some ground here. But it's 3rd and 11, man. Come up and make the damn play. Uh, if Slaughter does force him inside, this is the alley. This is where safeties make their living, dude. Running the
Hmm.
alley, having good angles, and coming up pissed off is exactly what I want to see here from Metcalf. And he was late, and he hit him maybe 2 yards before the line of scrimmage. If he was a yard and a half earlier, he wouldn't have gotten the first down. It's a
Right.
game of inches, Josh. It's a game of
Right.
inches. So,
Yeah, I really don't ever see safeties anymore come up and lay the hit. And I understand you want to come up and you want to break down and you want to make sure that you don't get beat.
yeah,
But what happened to coming up and just laying the hit?
man, it's honestly, well, I won't get off my tangent here, but the game has changed so much. I remember when we were seniors, I think it was when I was junior or senior, they installed what is it? The helmet to
Helmet to
helmet
helmet. Yeah, targeting rule.
targeting.
Yeah.
They called targeting, and they kicked Jerry Franklin out of the game. And I was like, what the hell? He just made a tackle. Uh,
Hmm.
but when they changed the rules of the game, it does change the psychology of a safety. And now you can't come downhill and ear hole somebody. That's how my dad made his living and how he taught me how to play football.
Numerous highlights of the incredible Cliff Harris, the interceptions, the vicious hits, the psychotic fights.
Throw it all over the place, and we got a free-for-all.
As an athlete, Landry used them in a variety of ways. He ran kickoff returns, occasionally played cornerback, ran back punts, but it was at safety where he received the nickname Captain Crash from the legendary Dave Edwards. Harris's bone-chilling hits was oftentimes heard in the bleachers.
Kyle might be shaken up on the play, and
Oftentimes he would break his teammates' bones literally or knock them flat out. And I'm not exaggerating. He called his teammates collateral damage.
But nonetheless, it's not excusable. Metcalf should have been sooner to the ball on this. It's 3rd and 11. It's a quick pass. It's really obvious. If you're looking at your keys, you're looking at the number 1 receiver, you can tell instantly that all he does is run 4 yards and break down. He's getting ready to block. You can tell a lot by their pre-snap stance and the way they get off the ball. It was really obvious. And again, we're watching this from 30,000 feet, so we can be a little critical. But I've been in those situations when it's 3rd and 11. They weren't trying to get the first down.
Right.
You know what I mean? They did a little short pass to the running back out of the backfield. But he's a good athlete, and they made a good play call and bet against our guys. But this is the stuff, Josh, that makes fans really pissed off. And it should, because Slaughter's better than that, and so is Metcalf. We should have stopped this ball 3-4 yards at least before the line of game.
Well, Matt, to give them their credit here, they do a little bit later on this drive end up in a 4th and 1. I don't know if that was called a first down or brought back, or it was just the next set of downs. We end up in a 4th and 1 situation just a minute later, and the defense shows out again, forces a turnover on 4th and 1. So you get this kind of flip-flop from the defense a little bit. And I mean, look, I'm not expecting our defense to show up every series and just force a 3 and out every single time.
Right. Although they
it's just a 3rd and 11s, right? If it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, I'm going to understand on some of that. But those 3rd and 11s, those 3rd and longs, it's really tough for me to get on board with. But look, defense comes back in, or shows back up on a 4th and 1 and comes up with a stop. I was trying to decipher what kind of defense they were in, and I didn't want to bug you because I was watching this at 2 a.m. So why don't you go ahead and tell me exactly what they're showing up in here?
So this is your traditional 4-3 defense, Josh. This is big boy defense versus big boy offense. Their personnel right now, they got 1 wide receiver. I mean, they're in 12 personnel, if not jumbo package. This is a goal line package for them. I think their tight end isn't even a tight end. He's number 94. They're left end there, the last guy on the line of scrimmage. So, this was an obvious rundown. They were saying, hey, we're bigger than you guys, and we're going to get this first down. And I was happy as hell to see, Big 5-0, Mr. Gregory come up field. He was untouched, but that was part of the blocking scheme. Their backside guard didn't pull quick enough. He's not fleet of foot, but Metcalf and Clark coming up field. Clark doesn't have force on this per se, but you might as well, right? Turn him inside to your force guy. And Metcalf does have the aggression that I wanted to see. Maybe he was a little upset at himself on that 3rd and 11 play, and he got a little aggressive. I mean, he's human, right? So tip of the cap to Metcalf and Clark both. They played really aggressive here. They saw that jet sweep coming from a mile away. 4th and 1. I mean, those are critical plays. It's 14-0. They get that first down. They go down and score. It's 17-14 in the 3rd quarter. I mean, now you're in a ball game versus Latt Tech. So I was really happy to see when you stop someone on 4th down, baby, that gets the crowd fired up and it gets your defense fired up.
100%. We actually go down and score a touchdown after that, which was exactly what you wanted to see. So we stretch it out 21-0. And I really wanted to say that the defense was going to hang just a nothing burger on these guys.
Yeah.
We end up, 3rd quarter, 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
They somehow end up at a 1st and goal. I can't remember exactly how we got here, but the perfect play call, and this is a Josh Throne play right here, okay? This doesn't require a lot of athleticism. This doesn't require anything but the right play call and a little bit of confusion. Let me bump you. You think I'm blocking you on the run, but I slip out and just catch it in the end zone for an easy tub, and I celebrate like I did something. Yeah. That's me all day. Yeah, so when I saw this play, I wanted to put it on here because you don't want this to happen. I think you stop them here, they don't end up scoring at all. But it's a confusing play because they're hard to stop. They're just hard to stop.
That's exactly right.
So as a defensive back, and a D coordinator, Matt, what are you calling on this play? Who's even responsible for that little tight end slip route?
Yeah, so that's where you start, right? Who's responsible for the play? Number 20, our linebacker Sanford was responsible. He got caught up in the wash. That's what you call it. You got to be aware and you got to be aggressive in those situations. When you see wide receiver split like that, look where the ball is. It's on the hash. They're into the boundary. They know exactly what they're doing. This is the same exact personnel package that you saw from that fourth down play on the jet sweep, but now they're not motioning that guy. So this is your traditional slip play. It's a pick play. It drives me mad because depending on the ref, this could have been a flag on the tight end or number 6. It's complete offensive pass interference, and I'm sure people are going to be like, no, it's not. Well, hey, watch 87 here on the release. He takes his guy and he pushes him into Sanford. That right there, when the ball is in the air, if you are hands on the receiver, that's pass interference. Mm-hmm. So what makes it any different from 87 taking that guy and pushing him backwards? Well, I can tell you this, as a defensive coordinator, I don't know who that is, number 7, I can't see. You take that tight end and you put him in the backfield. That's how you stop the play, right? So you can get upset if they run pick plays and stuff, but you also have to get even. You have to take that tight end, you have to push him into the backfield. That's what those guys are getting coached at. They're not looking for freaking excuses. You have to get really intense on the 2-yard line. And you have to be very aggressive and very aware of what's going on. Spence was not aggressive. He was not aware of what's going on. 87 got in his way first, but our guy got pushed all the way into his backfield. Not good. And then you see the wide receiver, number 6, come in, and he gives him a little right shoulder. It's like a Philadelphia Eagle over there, just chipping him a little bit.
When I look at this play, if I'm an offensive coordinator here, I'm probably going to give the quarterback a chance to audible at the line of scrimmage, especially if you're coming up in a cover 0. And I know you're a man, right? Yeah. I love these little bump routes, these little rub routes to get in the way of guys in this type of scenario. But if you're the defensive coordinator, are you in this cover 0 sending this blitz because you're just expecting run on first down? Is this just the perfect play call by Latt Tech, or do you expect to be able to stop this play in that cover 0?
Both, Josh. It was a perfect play on Latt Tech, but you absolutely, Coach Reggie Herring, who was a great defensive coordinator, he used to say, hey, the magic is not in the play call. The magic is not in the play call. He used to lose color in his lips because he would get so intense and he would spit. And you're like, oh my gosh, he was a psycho. He passed kidney stones at practice and didn't tell anybody. He was the toughest dude. He's the one who actually gave me number 39. Quick fun fact about your boy. I was not 39, and he came in and was an All-American at Florida State and gave me 39. So, and then they left because we all got fired because we went to the Cotton Bowl. What a terrible team we were.
Right.
But yeah, so Reggie used to have he used to have a saying, the magic's not in the play call. So with jumbo package on the goal line, you're expecting to run all day. So it was a good play call by Latt Tech, and we got caught out of position at the same time.
Well, Matt, look, what do you think? You've watched them play Latt Tech now. We've got Missouri tomorrow. What do you think Arkansas needs to be prepared for when facing Missouri's offense?
It's so cliche, Josh, but you're not competing against the other team. You're competing against yourself. Can you execute like you did against Tennessee? Can you execute like you did against Texas? Right? Defenses store that in their mind. We might have lost against Texas, but they won that game. If they play like that again, 12-game season, we should go 12-0. You can't force the offense to score points, but they got to do what they know how to do. They got to do what they know how to do, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, defense is very emotional. You can see the energy. I want to see high energy. They used to see, tap the hat. Whenever one guy makes a play, you want to see 11 guys around the ball. You don't want to see one guy making a tackle, and then you just walk back to the huddle, and you're walking like their body language, their energy, their aggression. You want to see a defense that's passionate. It's the last game of the season. We're already bowl eligible. You go win one against a Mizzou team. You can be an 8-win season at the end of the year. I mean, what a great year. When all of us thought, oh, we're not even going to be bowl eligible at the end of the year. So take it personal, right? Get defensive. Seriously. Yeah. am a super defensive person, and it helps. It's the personality of the defense, and you got to have high energy, and you got to believe in yourself. Mizzou's not going to show us anything. That's what's great about end of the year games too, is traditionally you have so much film and so much experience. You know the plays, you know your calls. Now you just got to go execute. You got one more chance in the regular season to go put a cherry on a pretty good season. Look, I know we could have beat Oklahoma State. I know we could have beaten A&M, but if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk. That's what old Antoine Robinson used to say. Yeah, you can't think like that. You got Missouri in front of you. Go play your tails off and go get a dub, man. Period. Get aggressive.
100% agree. I was looking at the Missouri team this year, and I just found it funny that there's two. Obviously, everybody knows Eli Drinkwitz having the Arkansas connection there. There he is. There he is. Guys, there's this awesome photo I'm going to put on the screen right now. This was Matt's son watching his show, the podcast 4th and 5, as he falls to sleep. It's his favorite bedtime story now. I guess me and Matt just bore him so much he can fall straight asleep.
Yeah, it's our future Razorback, y'all.
That's right. They got that Razorback red hair already.
That's right, man. He's wild. You defensive? That's right.
That is
good.
That's awesome. Well, yeah. Matt, I was saying we've got the Eli Drinkwitz connection at Arkansas, but if you remember, Big Al Davis, the defensive tackle, class of 08, he's there coaching the defensive line now. So Missouri's defensive line performed really good last year against us. And he's told me personally that they've got some surprises for us. So it's going to be an interesting game this weekend. Arkansas versus Missouri could turn this entire season into a potential 8-win season if we can get our 7th win versus them. Man, I want to thank our sponsor once again, Commercial Air Ortho Arkansas, for making this possible. Matt, I'm going to stay in touch with you during the game, and we'll be back next week, hopefully talking about a fantastic win. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I guess we'll be waiting to figure out what bowl game we're going to end up. So
there you go, man. That's right, Razorbacks, man. So go Hogs. We got a bowl in front of us, but let's go take care of Mizzou.
All right, guys, you're watching 4th and 5. See you next week.
All right.